Hello everyone, it's your brother here, reaching you again with the word of God. As I receive it in His truth, I give it to you. Today's topic is going to be Uprooting the Confusions, Part 5, the White Jesus Deception. The White Jesus Deception. All over the world, in our churches, we have placed a white figure on our walls. And we say, here's Jesus. That's the one who came to die for you and me. In our homes, we have them. In our dining rooms, we have them. But is that true or deception? Today you're going to find out and dig into the deeper, know the truth. Some say it doesn't matter. Color does not matter when you're dealing with God. So why would they paint him white in the first place if color doesn't matter? So today you're going to get to the bottom of this. In order to do that, you're going to go to the beginning, where it all started, when God created man. So you turn to Genesis chapter 1 verse 26, the idea state, when God had an idea to create man. Then God said, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, the birds of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on earth. So God had an idea to create man, and that man is going to create in the image and likeness of God. Verse 27, Genesis 1:27. So God created the man. Now it comes to the action state. He's putting the idea into action. God created man in his own image, and in the image of God he created him, male and female he created them. Now dealing with God, everything God creates in the spirit realm, he manifests it in the physical at his appointed time. There was always a time period in between. But whatever he creates, that's why when he speaks to you, you know that thing is done, because it's the God who starts the end from the beginning. So he created the man, male and female, he created them in the spirit realm. Now you go to Genesis chapter 2 verse 7, and the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living being. And man became a living being. Now he's in the physical. So in the physical, what color was the man? How did that man look like? That's what we are interested in today to find out. In order to find out, we have to find out how God looked like according to the Bible in the physical. So let's turn to Revelation chapter 1 verse 12 to 15. Then I turned to see the voice that spoke with me, and having turned I saw 7 gold lampstands, and in the middle of 7 lampstands one like the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the feet, and girded about the chest and the golden band, with a golden band. His head and hair were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes like a flame of fire. His feet like a fine brass, as if refined in the furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. And his voice as the sound of many waters. This is the Son of Man, how he looks like in the physical. When he comes, all eyes will see what color he is. So if it is not important, why did the Bible go to describe the vision he gave John, to describe how the Son of Man looks like? His hair was curly like wool, white as wool. Wool it curls. White people's hair, they don't curl. So why have they given you a straight hair, blonde hair in your church and they say he is the Son of God? Right? They have given you a fake name to match that fake figure they have given you. That is why. His eyes like a flame of fire. Now, flame of fire does not look the blue eyes. Why have you believed this lie when it's written in the Bible? His feet like a bent brass. When you bend brass, it looks what? Dark brown. It does not look anywhere close to a white man's skin. So who planted this deception? And why have we believed it up to now? And majority of churches still believe the deception, but he's uprooting them. That is the description of the Father, the Son. Now let's go to see the description of the Father. Daniel chapter 7. Daniel chapter 7, verse 9 to 10. I watched till thrones were put in place, and the Ancient of Days was seated. His garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head was like pure wool. His throne was fiery flame, its wheel a burning fire. A fiery stream issued and came from before him. 1,000 and thousands ministered to him. 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The court was seated and the books were open. I said that day is going to be a great day. And a great day is going to be that day. The head on his head is white as pure wool. Same description as the sun. And wool curls. It's not a white man's hair description. So what they have given you is a full of lies, deceptions, and apostasy that they have given you. So today we're going to dig deeper and trace the race from Adam to Christ to Yahushua HaMashiach, and know exactly the race he came from and the color of his skin. You're going to know them. To start it, we go into the book of Enoch. And I keep telling you, if you have been listening to my messages, I tell you, if you don't have one, get one. Because why would they remove the very first scripture written by man, which was in the 1611 King James Bible, and they took it away? Why? Because too many truths that they don't want you to know. One of the truths we are going to go into today. So you turn to the book of Enoch, chapter 106. I'll read from verse 1 to 6. After some days, my son Methuselah took a wife for his son Lamech, and she became pregnant by him and bore a son. And his body was white as snow and red as the blooming of a rose. And the hair on his head and his long locks were white as wool. And his eyes beautiful, and when he opened his eyes, he lighted up the house like the sun, and the whole house was very bright. And thereupon he arose in the hands of the midwife, opened his mouth, and conversed with the Lord of righteousness. And his father Lamech was very afraid, and fled and came to his father Methuselah, and said to him, I have begotten a strange son, diverse from and unlike man. Let's jump to verse 10. So Methuselah went to inquire from Enoch's spirit. Verse 10, and now my father, hear me. Unto Lamech my son there have been born a son, like of whom there is none, and his nature is not like the man's nature, and the color of his body is whiter than snow, and redder than the bloom of rose. And the hair of his head is whiter than white wool, and his eyes are like rays of the sun, and he opened his eyes, thereupon lighted up the whole house. And he arose from the hands of the midwife, and opened his mouth, and blessed the Lord of heaven. And his father Lamech became very afraid, and fled to me, and did not believe that he sprang forth from him, but that he was like in the likeness of the angels of heaven. And behold, I have come to thee, that thou mayest know the truth, and tell me. His eyes was as white, his body was white as snow, his hair was like wool. Same description. His hair was like wool, a baby that had been born. And he was not like man. Now, Enoch was the seventh generation from Adam. And from Adam all the way to Enoch to Methuselah, the eighth generation, Lamech, the ninth generation, they were all of the same color. And they were not white, they were not red. So when this child was born, and he had a skin, white, reddish color, he became very afraid and went to inquire. I believe this is one of the reasons why they took this book from the Bible. But his hair was white like wool. Again, telling you, even though the skin was white, he was not white. He was black man. In nature, he was an albino. So Noah gave sons to other children, to three sons. Let's turn to Genesis, sorry. Let's turn to Genesis chapter 9, verse 18. And it was this Noah during the flood that God kept with his three sons and their wives. Genesis chapter 9, verse 18. Now the sons of Noah who went out into the ark were Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Genesis 10, verse 1 to 3. Now this is the genealogy of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The sons were born to them after the flood. The sons of Japheth were Gomer, Magog, Madal, Javan, Tubal, Meshach, and Tyrus. The sons of Gomer were Ashkenaz. Now watch this word very well, Ashkenaz. Because the people that you have them in Israel right now, that is where they came from Japheth, Ashkenaz. Now let's jump to Genesis 10, verse 6 to 11. The sons of Ham were Cush, Mizraim, Put, and Canaan. The sons of Cush were Seba, Havla, Sabta, Rama, and Sabeta. And let's jump to verse 8. Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be mighty one on earth. He was mighty hunter before the Lord. Therefore it was said, like Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. And he began to build cities. And verse 11, from that land he went to Assyria and built the city called Nineveh. Nimrod built Babylon and built Nineveh. So we know Cush the Cushites are blacks. And in fact, Egypt, the nation called Egypt, is referred to as the land of Ham. And Egypt had no white. The Canaanites they were not white, all blacks. This is the reason why Joseph, when he went to Egypt and his brothers came, they could not recognize him, because Joseph was also not white. This is the reason why when Christ was born, the angel of the Lord had to let Joseph take his wife Miriam and the child into Egypt, because they blend in. Same color, and the color was not white, but black. Let's turn to chapter 10, Genesis chapter 10, verse 22 to 25. The sons of, you know the sons of Japheth, you know the sons of Ham. Now the sons of Shem. The sons of Shem were Elam, Ashur, Asphazad, Lud, Aram. The sons of Aram were Uz, Hul, Gether, and Mash. Asphazad begot Salah, and Salah begot Eber. Eber, in the original form, is for Hebrew. So let's jump up to verse 25. After Terah, Nabal lived 100 years. Nahor lived 119 years, and begot sons and daughters. Now Terah lived 70 years and begot Abram, Nahor, and Haran. And Abram is the one God chose to go to a land where he will bless him. So let's turn to Genesis chapter 12, verse 1 to 3. We are tracing the genealogy from beginning to Christ. Now the Lord has said to Abram, get out of your country, from your family, and from your father's house, to a land I will show you. I will make you a great nation. I will bless you, and I will make your name great, and you shall be blessed. I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse him who curses you. And in you all the families of the earth shall be blessed. And the Jews have taken this to be upon themselves, to be their own. So when you bless Jew, who's blessed, now the Israel, they are telling you, the fake Israel, they are telling you, if you bless them, then God will bless you. This was specifically to the man God has given instructions to follow his voice, to obey his voice. When he obeyed the voice, he received the reward. If that is the case, what happened to Ishmael? So God has called Abraham, and he said, through you all nations shall be blessed. But his name was not Abraham, his name was Abram. So let's turn to Genesis chapter 17, verse 5. Now no longer your name shall be called Abram, but your name shall be called Abraham, for I have made you father of many nations. For I have made you father of many nations. So Abraham continued and had a son. Through him the promise will come, Isaac. And Isaac married Rebekah. Now let's jump to Genesis chapter 26. Genesis chapter 25. And we start from verse 21 to 26. Now Isaac pleaded with the Lord for his wife because she was barren, and the Lord granted his plea. And Rebekah his wife conceived, but the children struggled together within her. And she said, "If all is well, why am I like this?" So she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said to her, "Two nations are in your womb. Two peoples shall be separated from your body. One people shall be stronger than the other, and the older shall serve the younger." And so, when her days were fulfilled for her to give birth, indeed there were twins in her womb. There were twins in her womb, and the first came out red. He was like a hairy garment all over, so they called his name Esau. Afterwards his brother came out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when he bore them. Two nations are in your womb. Two kinds of people are in your womb. But we know, as we trace all the way coming to Isaac, the people were alike. They had the same type of color. So now, Rebekah gave birth to a baby, and according to the Bible, the first came out, he was like a hairy garment all over, so they call it now. So when the days had come, the first came out red. He was like a hairy garment all over, so they call his name Esau. That is the second time in the creation of the world that we have heard in the Bible mention of a color, and every time that color comes out, it is strange, because people who were living at the time did not look like that. Now, so Jacob gave birth to Isaac gave birth to Jacob. Jacob also grew up, and Jacob married Leah and Rachel and their mates, and 4 women together. They had 12 sons, who became the 12 tribes of Israel. And the name of the sons were who? Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Issachar, Zebulun, Joseph, and Benjamin. These were the names of the 12 sons which became the 12 tribes of Israel. There is no mention of a tribe called Jew among the 12. Now, out of this 12, Jacob decided to bless them before his death. When Jacob was nearing his death, he blessed them. And let's turn to Genesis chapter 49, verse 10 to 12 to 11. Let's turn to 11. This was the blessing Jacob gave to Judah. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh comes. Now the word Shiloh here is the Messiah, Hamashiach. Until the Messiah comes. The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver between his feet, until Shiloh comes. And to him shall be the obedience of the people, binding the donkey to the vine, and his donkey's colt to the choice vine. He washed his garments in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes. His eyes are darker than wine, and his teeth whiter than milk. This is the description of the Messiah, the one you call Jesus Christ, to come from the tribe of Judah and nowhere else. So let's turn to Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6 and 7. Isaiah prophesied, "For unto us a child is born, and unto us a son is given, and the government will be upon his shoulder. His name shall be called Wonderful, Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Of the increase of his government and peace there will be no end, upon the throne of David and over his kingdom, to order it and establish it with judgment and justice from that time forward, even forever. The zeal of the Lord of hosts shall perform this." So unto us a child is born, but the son was not born. The son was there already. The son was given to us as a gift for our salvation, for our redemption, and for our restoration, to come and deliver us. And he will sit on the throne of David. So this Shiloh, the Messiah, is confirmed. David was from the tribe of Judah. It's confirmed he will be born into the tribe of Judah. So if he is the Messiah, then let's turn to the book of genealogy in Matthew. Let's turn to Matthew chapter 1. Matthew chapter 1. The book of genealogy. Jesus Christ, Yahushua HaMashiach, the son of David, the son of Abraham, and Abraham begot Isaac. Isaac begot Jacob, and Jacob begot Judah and his brothers. And Judah begot Perez and Zerah by Tamar. Perez begot Hezron, and Hezron begot Ram, and Ram begot Aminadab. Aminadab begot Nashon, and Nashon begot Salmon, and Salmon begot Boaz by Rahab, and Boaz begot Obed, and Obed begot Jesse, and you know Jesse begot David, of course, the king. And David begot Solomon. And he continued till throughout the genealogy to verse 16. And Jacob begot Joseph, the husband of Mary, of whom was born Jesus, Yahushua, who is called HaMashiach, the Christ. So we know from all the way from Abraham to Isaac to Jacob, and through Jacob we had the 12 tribes, and out of the 12 tribes was Judah. And through Judah we have Christ. And we know when Rebekah gave birth, he gave birth to two kinds of people, two nations. According to the word, there are two kinds of people. One was normal to the color of people who existed at the time, the other was not. And through the one that is numbered, that is Jacob, through that we have the tribe of Israel. And through that we have Judah, and through Judah came Christ. And certainly Judah was not white, was not red, because the red man became Esau, the Edomite. They became the Edomite. 2 Kings chapter 17, verse 34 and 35. The Lord commanded the children of Jacob, whom he named Israel. The children of Jacob, whom he named Israel, with whom the Lord had made a covenant, and charged them, saying, You shall not fear any other God, nor bow down to them, nor serve them, nor sacrifice to them, by the Lord Yahuwah, who brought you out from the land of what? Egypt, with great power and outstretched hand, outstretched arm. Him you shall fear, him you shall worship, and to him you shall offer sacrifice. And the people who left Egypt were not white. Those were the 12 tribes that left Egypt. They were not white. So, where did this white man they have given you in the churches, where did he come from? Where did he come from? In 1507. In 1507, there was an emperor who became Pope, Pope Alexander VI. His son, called Cesare Borgia, died at the age of 31. And it hurt him so much, in order to keep his remembrance, he called Leonardo da Vinci to draw his son. And that figure, when he was the Pope, that figure was put in the churches, the Roman Catholic churches, and that has become the figure that you know as Jesus today, the white man, that you think he came to save you. Let's turn to the wisdom of Solomon. I tell you, they did not remove these books from the Bible for nothing. They knew exactly what they were doing, because this scheme was prophesied in the book of the wisdom of Solomon, in the Apocrypha. So why would they take these books out of the Bible when in the 1611 first Bible written in English King James Version, they were all in? So God made mistake for the first time, or what? So they can give you lies. And Christians don't seek to know the truth. They just follow. That's the name. Christian, that's the meaning. Christian, it doesn't matter what people want to tune it, Bible scholars, and tune it and turn it and refine it and quantify and qualify it. The name Christian, as it was given in its original form, is Christianos, followers of Christ. So you can change it any way you want, but the namer has authority over the thing named. And that is why the devil has got foothold in the Christian churches and planted all sorts of deceptions. Let's turn to the book of wisdom of Solomon. Solomon wrote Proverbs. He wrote Sons of Solomon, Ecclesiastes. All are in the Bible. Why was the wisdom of Solomon taken out of the Bible? Why is that? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 15. Let's start from verse 15. For a father afflicted with untimely grief made a likeness of his child that had been quickly taken away from him, and presently honored as a God him who was once a dead man. This is Cesare Borgia, Cesare Borgia, that Pope Alexander VI let Leonardo da Vinci drew and put in the church and gave it to you as Jesus. It was prophesied in the book of Wisdom of Solomon that this thing will happen. Solomon asked God wisdom to rule over the people that he has given to him as king over Israel, over Judah. And he said, you have given me, I'm a youth, you have given me all these people to rule over me. What I need is wisdom to rule. God said, I'll give you wisdom as nobody before you has got, and nobody ever will have wisdom. And the book that he wrote and labeled it, entitled it The Wisdom of Solomon, that has been taken out of the Bible. Who planted this scheme? Roman Catholic Church. Let's continue. The Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 19 to 22. For he, that is the artist, Leonardo da Vinci, for he, perhaps wishing to gratify someone in authority, elaborated the likeness of his art into greater beauty, and the multitude, attracted by the charm of his workmanship, now regarded as an object of worship the one whom they have recently honored as a man. And this proved an ambush for man's life. This is ambush for man's life. Because men in bondage to misfortune or royal authority clothe sticks and stones with the name that cannot be shared with others. The name that cannot be shared with others. Yahushua HaMashiach. No one can use that name. But they have given you a figure and given you a name that he is the one God sent to save you. It's all written here. And then it was not enough for them to go astray about the knowledge of God, but though living in great war of ignorance, they call such evil peace. We call such evil that they have given us, that you have put in your churches, that you call him Jesus, when the name that the angel Gabriel, the archangel, was sent on earth to come and give this name, deliver this name, when there's no letter J in the Hebrew alphabet, and giving you a name called Jesus to match the fake figure that they are given to you, you are put in your churches, in your homes, and everyone. If you hear this message and you go home and you still keep that on the wall and be watching it and go to your churches and worship these things, it's up to you. I have given you what I need to give to you. Because in Revelation chapter 12, Revelation chapter 12, verse 9, so the great dragon was cast out, the serpent of all, called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. He was cast down to the earth, with his angels cast out with him. The great dragon, who is called the devil and Satan, who deceives the whole world. And I tell you all the time, devil deceiving the unbelievers is not a problem. He rules them. But in order to deceive the whole world, he have to take some truth and cover it. Take the lie and cover it with a little bit of truth and give it to you. Because the Jesus Christ they have given you, the Jesus is a fake name, it's a complete lie. But the Christ is a direct translation of what? The anointed one in Greek. Christ is anointed one in Greek. So he take that truth and cover it with the Jesus and give it to you and give you a white man and say that is your the Son of God, and you go and worship. That's what he has given you. Matthew chapter 10 verse 26. Therefore do not fear them, for there is nothing uncovered that will not be revealed, and hidden that will not be known. Nothing uncovered, nothing covered that will not be revealed. Nothing covered that will not be revealed. And nothing hidden that will not be known. And the time has come, because according to the book of Enoch, again, according to the book of Enoch, there are 7 weeks that I've done teaching on it, 7 weeks of Enoch prophecy. You can go and listen to it. From the week 6, everything from the first week, from Noah's time up to now, from Adam to Noah's time was the first week. I continue all the 6 weeks are passed, and we are in the 7th week. In order to know, I go back to verse 8. That's the book of Enoch, chapter 93, verse 8 and 9. After that, in the 6th week, all who live in it shall be blinded, and the hearts of all of them shall godlessly forsake wisdom. And in it a man shall ascend. The 6th week a man shall ascend, and Christ ascended. Yahushua HaMashiach ascended. And at its close the house of dominion shall be burnt with fire. And the house of dominion, the temple in Jerusalem, was burnt with fire. And the whole race of the chosen root shall be dispersed. This was given to Enoch, the 7th generation from Adam. 7th generation from Adam, giving us, prophesying all these things to us. Because this book was not written for him, it was written for a generation far off. And which is that generation? And the whole race of the chosen root shall be dispersed. The whole race of the chosen root shall be dispersed. So the next teaching, we are going to go the deception about the Jews that they have given you. And verse 9, after that in the 7th week shall an apostate generation arise, and many shall be is this, and all is this shall be apostate. All is this shall be apostate. The apostate generation is what? Is the generation that they have given you, that they say they are Jews. Apostasy. That is the physical apostasy. The spiritual apostasy is the church, the Roman Catholic Church. Both are in place now. We are at the close in the 7th week, and they are at the close. And at its close, what is going to happen? Shall be elected the elect righteous of eternal plant of righteousness, to receive 7-fold instruction concerning all his creations. All his creation. God himself is going to choose certain people and reveal deep things about his creation that man had no idea, has no idea. Verse 11, for who is there of all children of men that is able to hear the voice of the Holy One without being troubled? If you want to hear him and obey his voice, when what he's going to give you, it will trouble you. But are you the one who will not be troubled and obey the voice? And whatever he says, speaks to you, you say, yes, Lord, and do it to to the glory of the Most High. Today you have known the truth. What you do with that information is yours. I am a vessel He's using to bring out, uproot out all these deceptions. I have believed in myself from youth until recently. Until recently. But if you have heard it, say, do not turn back to folly. Do not turn back to deception. The choice is yours. So I'll leave it here, and God bless you, and we continue the next time with the Jews' deception. See you next time.